What if I told you that every rejection you encounter, the sting of being ghosted, ignored, or outright dismissed, isn't a reflection of your worth, but a catalyst for unparalleled growth, an opportunity disguised as a setback, a chance to build a resilience so profound that it reshapes your entire perspective? Because while the world often encourages the relentless pursuit of approval, true power lies in mastering the art of gracefully navigating and ultimately leveraging rejection to your advantage. Today, we're delving deep into 13 powerful lessons every man needs to flip the script on rejection, transforming it from a source of crippling self-doubt into an arsenal of unwavering strength, especially in the complex and often emotionally charged arena of relationships. And by the end of this exploration, rejection will no longer be a weakness to be feared, but rather your greatest weapon, a tool to forge a more resilient, self-assured, and ultimately successful version of yourself. This transformation begins by understanding that the initial instinct to chase after someone who rejects you, to desperately prove your worth and convince them of their mistake, is a path to self-destruction, a rapid descent into the abyss of lost self-respect. Because chasing someone who rejected you is the fastest way to lose your self-respect and to demonstrate how you can regain it from that point onwards. It's irrelevant whether the rejection stems from a romantic interest, a potential employer, or even a friend. The appropriate response, though seemingly harsh, is to ignore them too, as attention is currency, and the more attention you lavish upon someone who has dismissed you, the more you devalue your own worth, thereby diminishing the light that attract positive connections and opportunities. And you've got to show that you don't need their approval. That's the power play. This seemingly counterintuitive approach is remarkably effective because it fundamentally alters the power dynamic, as the psychology behind it all is simple. When someone rejects you, they anticipate a reaction, a display of hurt or disappointment that validates their decision and strokes their ego. So by ignoring them, you pull the rug out from under their expectations and watch them scramble to figure out what they were banking on seeing. This is not out of a place of cruelty or seeking to cause malice, but rather an important move that helps reestablish your own sense of self-worth. Therefore, in today's hyper-connected dating landscape, especially with apps like Tinder, Bumble, and Instagram, where rejection is more prevalent and often more public than ever before, it's even more important than ever to control your instincts, because women are drowning in attention, deluged with DMs, inundated with matches, and showered with likes, making your attention, initially perceived as valuable, seem cheap, like another drop in an already overflowing bucket. Therefore, when you pull back, when you cease giving them what they expect, you become an anomaly, something rare and intriguing, and in a world oversaturated with readily available attention, scarcity is power. When faced with a ghosting, a left-on-read message, or a flat rejection, refrain from texting back, calling, or stalking their social media. Instead, embrace silence, redirecting your focus to your life, your goals, your passions, because you have far more important things to occupy your mind than someone who is incapable of recognizing your inherent value. Showing that you value yourself too much to allow another person to become an essential feature of your personal peace and well-being. Consider the analogy of a valuable painting displayed in a gallery. If the painting is constantly sought after, surrounded by admirers, its value is self-evident. But if the painting is ignored, tucked away in a dusty corner, its value diminishes in the eyes of others. By removing yourself from their attention, you are essentially placing yourself back in the spotlight, making them wonder why you are no longer seeking their validation. This shift in perception can be incredibly powerful, prompting them to reevaluate their decision and potentially seek you out once more. However, it's crucial to remember that this is not about playing games or seeking revenge. It's about protecting your own self-worth and creating a life that is fulfilling and meaningful, regardless of their presence. If they do come back, approach the situation with caution, assessing their motives and ensuring that they genuinely value you for who you are. Don't fall back into old patterns or settle for less than you deserve. Your newfound strength and independence will serve as a powerful filter, attracting those who truly appreciate your worth. In addition to this strategic act of ignoring, a high degree of consciousness on your actions can allow for the mastery of not reacting emotionally. Because rejection triggers that primal part of your brain that screams, "I'm not good enough," causing you to get angry, frustrated, and even a little desperate, which creates a great feeling to want to react to prove that you're worth it, to defend yourself. But in those moments, your primary focus and goal should be for the moment you react emotionally. You lose all your power, so it's important to know that that emotional outburst, that pleading text, and that angry rant are gifts to the person who rejected you, showing them that you're not able to maintain control, showing them that they have all the control. This is also all that they want to do. This fact can make a moment that is already very difficult that much more so. And so here's the truth. Emotional control is one of the most attractive qualities a man can have. Remember, women are biologically wired to test men's emotional resilience. When they reject you, they want to see how you handle it. Do you crumble? Do you beg for their attention? Or do you stay cool, calm, and collected? The men who stay composed in the face of rejection are the ones who stand out. They're the ones women come back to because they've proven they're not easily shaken. They've shown they have something most men don't: inner strength. So, what are you really doing when you react emotionally? You're feeding the other person's ego and showing them that they have power over you. Therefore, whether it's a woman who rejected you after a date, a friend who ghosted you, or even a boss who passed you up for a promotion, your emotional reaction is a signal that you're not in control. So it becomes a question of what can you do to stay strong. Next time you're hit with rejection, whether it's in dating, work, or life, take a deep breath, feel the emotions, but don't act on them. Let the storm pass, and once you've calmed down, make a rational decision. Do you really want to give someone who rejected you the power to control your emotions? Or are you going to take back control and rise above it? To give yourself a practical exercise, next time you feel the urge to react emotionally, count to 10, then count to 10 again, and keep counting until the urge passes. Once you're in control, make your next move from a place of power, not desperation, and make a firm practice of reminding yourself you are in control of how the relationship will move going forward. What is left unsaid, then, is the new course you will embark on. And that is the course of the mind, but to properly take action there, you must take the step to remove them from your mind. What has happened and needs to be respected as part of a journey, not the destination. This isn't about pretending you don't care. It's about consciously choosing where to invest your mental energy. Every moment spent dwelling on the rejection is a moment stolen from your own growth and potential. The goal is to become so engrossed in your own pursuits, so focused on your own goals, that they simply fade into the background, becoming a distant memory that no longer holds any emotional weight. Imagine your mind as a garden. If you allow weeds, negative thoughts, obsessive ruminations to take root, they will choke out the flowers, positive thoughts, creative ideas, productive actions. The key is to diligently weed your garden, removing the unwanted thoughts and cultivating a space where your potential can flourish. This requires conscious effort, a deliberate redirection of your focus each time their memory intrudes. Don't berate yourself for having these thoughts. Simply acknowledge them, and then gently guide your attention back to something more constructive. This could involve engaging in a hobby, working on a project, spending time with loved ones, or simply focusing on your breath. The more you practice this redirection, the easier it will become, and the more control you will gain over your mental landscape. In effect, you are creating a mental fortress, a space that is protected from negative influences and dedicated to your own growth and well-being. This mental fortitude is a powerful asset, not only in navigating rejection, but in achieving success in all areas of your life. It allows you to stay focused, resilient, and optimistic, even when faced with challenges and setbacks. Moreover, there needs to be a clear understanding of demonstrating your value to yourself first and foremost, because people value what they can't have, and when someone rejects you, they're telling you that, in their eyes, you're not valuable enough. Brutal, right? But here's where most men go wrong. They take that rejection as a permanent statement of their worth and assume that just because one person didn't see their value, no one else will either. Don't let this happen to you. Your value isn't determined by someone else's opinion, and that just because one person didn't see it doesn't mean it's not there. The best way to show them, and yourself, that you're valuable is to demonstrate it. When they see you leveling up, hitting your goals, and living your best life, it'll hit them where it hurts, that point of missing what could have been. Also, you're not doing it for them, but doing it for yourself so that their opinion of you doesn't matter anymore, because you've proven to yourself that you're valuable with or without their approval. And success is the best revenge, not because you want to get back at them, but because it proves to yourself that you're more than what they thought. The focus is for your goals, growth, and success. They help turn you into someone who has created a life and value for themselves. When you focus on your growth, your success, and your goals, you become untouchable, and people start to notice, start to realize that you're not the same person they rejected. You've evolved, you've leveled up, and now they're the ones who feel small, and the real magic is you have done it to be more whole for yourself, that in effect, you don't even care about what they think anymore, and that's when they'll really start paying attention. That's also because that attention has shifted from then toward your sense of progress, your sense of happiness, the whole of yourself instead of one that needs another to be complete. You'll be showing all the other people that you are worth it. Also, by setting a personal goal that scares you, something big and ambitious, and then work relentlessly to achieve it, whether it's getting in the best shape of your life, landing that dream job, or mastering a new skill, what you are doing is letting your results do the talking, and when they see you winning without them, they'll regret ever doubting you. But by then you'll be too busy living your best life to even notice. All this strength is then used to create an understanding to cut off contact. A great power move, for this isn't a game. Cutting off contact is about respecting yourself. This is about protecting your energy and creating a space where you can heal and grow without the distractions of their presence. It's about sending a clear message that you're no longer available for manipulation, that you value your well-being more than their approval. Think of it as building a fortress around your heart, protecting it from further harm. You're not being petty or vengeful. You're simply creating a boundary, a line that they cannot cross. This act of self-preservation is essential for reclaiming your power and moving forward with confidence. The key is to be consistent and unwavering in your decision. Don't succumb to moments of weakness. Don't respond to their attempts to reach out, and don't allow them to occupy your thoughts. The more steadfast you are in your commitment to cutting off contact, the more powerful the message you will send. They will eventually realize that they have lost you, that they can no longer access your energy, and that they are no longer a factor in your life. In addition to the hard act of making the cut, it's also extremely helpful to take the approach to prove them wrong, a statement that, again, won't be used for their direct attention, but more a reminder to stay focused on moving forward with all the wonderful things available to you. Understand that you should allow it to fuel something bigger. Also, by focusing on not the lack of something, but the opportunity for a different perspective, you also understand a high likelihood for an enhanced outlook on your value. But here's where the real magic occurs. It becomes a testament to yourself, your capabilities, as instead of holding that person to a higher standard, you allow that moment of uncertainty to become the genesis of a new stage and new standard of life. When done right, you transform your perception and understanding to the point where if someone doubts you, walks away, or ghosts you, they're not just rejecting who you are, they're rejecting your potential. And you, my friend, are going to prove them wrong in the best way possible. Let your results do the talking. And the best part about it? It isn't even about them. To give you a quick reminder, if you're not trying to do something about proving to them your worth, then it doesn't define what type of person you are. You can focus on you. This self-compassionate approach then helps bring about an important aspect where you understand the necessity to go out and have fun. Instead of dwelling on what you lost, concentrate on the joy you can find with the freedom you have. You've been rejected and it hurts. You have to ensure that you're not going to sit around and wallow in self-pity. You're going to be out here and live your life with joy and passion, a way that shows that the rejection made you stronger, not bitter. You want the rest of the world to see that as well, because nothing is more attractive than someone who has enjoyment of self without needing an outside influence for that to occur. So as you're living your life with joy, that the ones who rejected you start to take notice. They see that they may have made a mistake. And because of the joy, you may feel that maybe what you wanted then. So it's not about thinking you need them or having revenge, but just for showing that it's about you. When you can do this, focus is given to you, not to the people who let you down. This can give you the power to make things how you may please. This also enhances other aspects of the self. By doing all this with all your effort, energy, and strength, you also begin to build your social status. And it's essential to remember that your value in the dating game is directly tied to your social status, because the higher your social value, the more attractive you become. When you also start building your social status, also remember the importance of how you use it, not for manipulation, but for connection. Building a solid foundation. Building a solid foundation for yourself and those around you is what will create the respect and acknowledgement that you desire. After all, who is going to respect someone who steps on others to get to the top? To be clear, it's not just about looks or charm. It's about influence, and high-value men don't chase approval because they don't need to. They naturally attract attention and respect because of the circles they move and the value they provide and the lives they lead. Now, when others have caught sight of how you've used previous rejections as opportunities for growth and self-development, that is something special, and it will be something others may look for from you. To go along with having a clear value, also be sure to act like they don't exist. You want to know one of the most powerful moves you can make after being rejected? Act like they don't even exist. That's right. Cut them out of your mind, your thoughts, and your life entirely, and don't give them a second thought. This is not about an act of revenge. Being petty or vengeful will not build you a foundation for growth. It only serves to damage any opportunity you may have had for creating new paths or connecting to new individuals who will now hold the memory of any pettiness you have in your past. People are naturally drawn to what they can't have. When you stop acknowledging their existence, you become a mystery, and what's more intriguing than a man who seems completely unaffected by rejection? The minute you stop caring about their opinion is the moment you regain all your power. It shows that their rejection doesn't define you, and it certainly doesn't dictate how you live your life, but also, remember not to be consumed with pride. It is equally important not to go out of your way and be someone you are not just to make her feel like she wants you again or to prove that you were great all along. Instead, be yourself, act as you see fit, and move on with your life. To be true to yourself, there is also one other point you can make, which is give them the silent treatment. In today's hyper-connected world, and if the opportunity presents itself, the temptation to seek closure, to reach out to ask for explanations, and to try to fix the situation may be tempting to you. It is still advisable to follow the path you had initially started and let any relationship, or the remains of it, to continue to fall apart. When you're in that position, it's important to remember that it's not always about the last word in these situations, as this allows for growth and can even push you in new and creative directions. To get to that point, use it to make a choice, and the choice is yours. The importance lies in following your own path, not creating someone else's narrative for what is right for you, or just for the sake of feeling like you can come out on top. And let me tell you something, the idea of coming out on top should not be a goal either. The goal needs to be to understand what best serves yourself while treating the other party with respect. By doing all of this, there will be no doubts about your value, and you'll learn it for yourself as well. There is also another important thing to remember, and that is don't beg for attention. Remember that the moment you start begging for attention, you're telling the world that your value depends on how much attention you receive from others. You're broadcasting insecurity, and nothing turns people off faster than a man who lacks self-worth. And when you beg, you're no longer a high-value man, and you're placing yourself in the position of the needy, the desperate, and the powerless. And guess what? Women can smell desperation from a mile away. The moment you stop begging for attention, you regain your power. You stop waiting for validation from others. You focus on your own value, your own growth, and your own life. And if they don't appreciate you, they don't deserve you. End of story. When it comes down to a lot of these different points you must make, a great deal of it centers on whether or not you continue to provide space to a person who may not entirely be on board. In practice, that can mean you have to learn to be kind, but emotionally distant to give yourself a clear path. This way you get to see them for who they truly are while keeping you protected. The action isn't being kind in the hopes of it being reciprocated, but it needs to be done for showing to all parties who you are. This strategy is powerful because it shows that you can still be respectful and courteous while protecting your heart. Being kind doesn't mean being a doormat. You can smile, exchange pleasantries, and even share a laugh, but emotionally you remain untouchable. And the key here is balance. You're polite, but not overly friendly. You're warm, but not available. You show them that you're the bigger person that you can move on without drama. But the caveat to remember is to never engage in a way that is meant to pull you back in. With the act of distance as the primary factor, another key step to achieving your goal is also to never reveal your struggle. Remember, it is never a good idea to show any weakness, no matter who you are with. People are naturally repelled by what may make you seem vulnerable. Showing you and the public that you are happy with yourself builds up self-worth. This step is also to help make you stronger as well. This requires strength. There can be some concern that you won't feel as strong if you can't express, or at least allude to what is giving you strife. But it is important to understand that you also don't need a lot of emotional baggage, as it may hinder any path you take. This isn't to suggest that you bottle up the emotions you are having, but to suggest that you find healthier outlets and expressions that aren't directly tied to another person that will ultimately depend on you anyway. The person you're going to depend on will come and go, and the emotional baggage will only add more hurt as you realize that person cannot come to terms with what may come your way. One of the most useful things you can remember is that you need to put yourself first. To take the position for someone may ultimately cause detriment, especially when they're not fully vested. By knowing that what you are going to do next may not even work out, and to still have the mind and intent to try it anyway, that is amazing. But this also has a lot to do with knowing your worth and making it known that any disrespect or anything to hurt your state of being has zero tolerance. Be that leader that is to be. Be mindful and be ready to go. By making the action to know how to respond and be able to let what needs to run its course to. As you start to focus on how all this comes about, there's also one last thing that can be said: rejection is redirection to you. When looking back, there could be an aha moment in some of the past things you were hoping to achieve, but you come to realize it didn't work out. But then other things started to move forward for the better because all those bad things were no longer there. To help yourself move forward, there is another step that will guide you to making this all work. Try and think about something or someone you once had. Now look back and laugh at how you thought that was your future. With the addition of those thoughts, you become a new and better person for that, with new achievements and new friend to share your amazing new journey with. Now look at you. You made it. You are amazing, and no one could tell you otherwise. With that being said, it looks like you are ready for the bonus lesson. Congratulations. You've unlocked the bonus lesson. And let me tell you, this one's the most powerful of them all. Rejection is redirection. Let that sink in for a second. Every time you're rejected, whether in relationships, your career, or life in general, it's not a failure. It's the universe redirecting you to something better, and you really dodged a bullet. Rejection is the universe's way of saying, hey, this isn't the path for you. I have something better in store. The problem is most people are too blinded by the immediate pain of rejection to see the bigger picture. They cling to what's lost instead of embracing what's coming. It also means being open to opportunities that you may never have considered before, opportunities that may be far more fulfilling and rewarding than anything you had previously imagined. See each rejection as a closed door that opens the way for new and exciting adventures. This requires a shift in perspective, a willingness to embrace the unknown, and a belief in your own ability to create a life that is aligned with your true purpose. It means trusting that the universe has a plan for you, even if you can't see it in the moment. It means having faith that you're being guided towards something better, something that is more aligned with your values, your passions, and your potential. This belief in a higher purpose can be a powerful source of comfort and strength during times of rejection, reminding you that you are not alone, that you are being guided towards a future that is brighter and more fulfilling than you can currently imagine. To best embrace this redirection, There are a few actions to make that vision more clear. 1. Redefine success. Move past the conventional image of what success is and figure out what best serves you. Also, what makes you excited for the new heights of life that can come before you. 2. Release negativity. When coming from such a low point, you have to allow the weight to fall off your shoulders so you can dance with life again. For you can try to be the best version of yourself and keep it to yourself, but it's a much better image when the world can see the greatness for themselves. 3. Look to what matters. To not rely on what the world may define you to be, it can be important to have something that defines you. What is it that you can turn to or create to find the value and peace that may not be found anywhere else? In essence, rejection, when viewed through a Stoic lens, transforms from a debilitating setback into a powerful catalyst for growth, providing an opportunity to ignore, not react emotionally, and remove toxic influences from the mind, as those red flags are just a redirection toward building a life built from the heart. And one day, you'll be thankful for all those rejections. It allows you to demonstrate your value, cut off contact with those who don't appreciate you, and actively seek joy and fulfillment in your own pursuits. And then, there's no way to contain the inner worth you've built for yourself.